Yo, what up? What up? What up? Who's here right now? I can't see. Can I see? Can I see participants? I don't think I can see participants. What's going on, people? What's going on? Say something. Somebody talk to me. Let me know who's here. I think Fowler's here. I think Justin Fowler's here. You know what? Someone's here. I don't care if you say in the box or not. I know someone's here. So something just happened in Mountaineer Talk that was really funny. So I think this was last season. Big C said something to the effect of Colin Reed is a catcher of passes, not a blocker of people. And it was hilarious. I think he said that in an episode, which is not Big C like. But anyway, so tonight, Colin Reed and Henry Pearson were the player guests on Mountaineer Talk. And so at the very end, Adam Witten, who I think just removed his winter gloves right before they went live at Mountaineer Talk. Anyway, he said, "What? There, I'm on your TV. Is this the best your living room has ever looked, Justin?" For those of you that are not looking at the commentary, Justin just said that I am on his TV. Very good. It's better than Venom on DVD. Anyway, so anyway, Adam Witten said, "Hey, you guys say something nice about one another." And so Colin Reed's like, "You go first." Colin's a funny guy, by the way. He's kind of quirky, but he's really funny. And Henry's like, "Well, Colin's a good route runner. Good route runner. I admire that about him. He does a good job with that." And then Colin said, "Yeah, Henry's the opposite of me. He's a good blocker." And so that was just kind of funny how that kind of came full circle. Hey, so let's talk about something kind of serious here for a second. Let's talk about Zach Thomas. Many of you listening to this right now, you've already listened to our post-game show. Maybe some of you haven't, but I know many of you have. It's going to be hard this week to do an episode not refer to Thursday. It just is. It's just kind of one of those games that's kind of connected to what we're thinking about this game. It's really hard just to move past. Like, for example, with the Georgia Southern game, we really didn't mention Louisiana. I'm like, Louisiana, we did this. We talk about the shortcomings we had in that game, but we weren't really lingering on it. But that Georgia Southern game, it comes down to the fact that that was a game about losing a quarterback. People can say that's an excuse. People can say it's weak to, it's why you play the game. And I totally get it. I'm not even making an excuse. We got beat. Georgia Southern played way better than us. But that was a story about losing QB1. That was the story of that game. Yeah, Jordan Fair is important, but, we can't in one breath say, well, we're so deep at defense. It's just, it's not a rebuild, it's reload. We can't say that and say, well, we lost Jordan Fair. Meh. So I think I still think our defense didn't play bad. They were just put in terrible positions from turning the ball over. But I'm not hearing very many positive things about Zach Thomas playing in this game. I don't think I'm revealing anything too secret. I mean, I think anybody can kind of put two and two together. It's Tuesday. I think they're traveling Friday, right? At least Friday. It got to be Friday. It doesn't matter. We're not hearing anything about him practicing. He's still under concussion protocol. This far removed, so we play Thursday. So tomorrow will be, pretty much a week after that game. And I'm hearing, this is a little inside baseball here for everybody, but gosh, it's a tricky subject, right? Because you don't want to say things and then spread rumors. And I trust everybody here would not spread these rumors. And they are rumors, right? I mean, it's not like any of the coaches are like, oh, hey, by the way, AJ, coaches would be like, who are you? But I'm not hearing anything positive about this. I think it's I don't think Zach Thomas is going to play on Saturday. Now that is an educated opinion based on rumors, but they're secondary and tertiary and all kind of down the list. Just they're not hard sources, if that makes sense. But anyway, it sucks. How about that? It sucks that oh boy, even just thinking about having to go through that whole unknown thing again with because we all wonder, and I think this was true before Taylor Lamb when he was a red shirt, true freshman rather, being a red shirt freshman. Well, not a red shirt freshman, a true freshman. Everyone kind of wondered what the next guy was going to look like. Is he going to be good? Is he going to be able to carry the reins? Like, how are we doing? And then for 4 years, Taylor took every meaningful snap we've ever had. And so you hear things about Huseman and I feel like I heard this a lot. Huseman and Thomas are neck and neck, whatever. And then after the season, like, no, Thomas has got it. And, it's pretty obvious to see why. But you're always kind of wondering, what happens to that next person that's taking up the reins. You always kind of wonder that. And going into this game against Coastal here, and David Jackson even said he expects this to be a close game. I don't know if he had the foresight to predict an injury, but still, it's so tricky. It's because you want to have confidence in whoever's coming up behind, but then again, we saw him play. Not hating on those guys, but Huseman threw 2 really bad interceptions. No, I think one of his interceptions is a tip. Wasn't it? Can somebody remind me of that? I still don't know who's here. Justin Fowler's apparently I'm in his living room right now. But I think one of Huseman's interceptions was tipped by Malik Williams. I think that was the case. But Derek didn't look very confident. Justin just said, and I don't know what the format is with this live stream stuff. But I mean, obviously I have the live chat right in front of me. So, I'm not trying to be redundant if everybody's already read these comments, but Justin just asked, could we see a dual quarterback system on Saturday and ride the hot hand? Yeah, I think it's kind of what happened after Thomas got hurt. I really do. I think when he got hurt and Peyton Derrick wasn't getting it done, I think you got to find someone to take care of the ball. I think number one, got to take care of the ball, and then who could be effective in moving the ball, right? So I could absolutely see us trying to figure out and not having like a lot of slack, I guess. If everybody remembers, and everybody should remember this game. Last year we played Idaho around this. I think it was around this time. It was actually. I think it was at the. I think it was in the middle of October. We played Idaho. Taylor Lamb played terrible against Idaho. It was awful. Now, does that mean? Does that mean now in that game? If you remember, a lot of people going, "Ooh, he looks hurt. He looks whatever." Had a lot of slack, didn't he? Because he's a senior, we're going to ride him out. He's our best option, right? It turns out Taylor Lamb came back out in the second half. We scored, but even on that episode that we had with Taylor, he was struggling that game. He was hurting. He was hurting during the Wake Forest game, and really through the middle part of that season, he was hurting. But he was Taylor Lamb. He had 3 years of winning and competency built up that you're not going to have that quick leash. That quick hook rather. With someone like Taylor, but here we're in the Wild West right now, as far as I'm concerned. I think Seth even said, Peyton just did not play well. I think he was a little more complimentary on Huseman. So I mean, if you're betting, which I don't know how many people are betting on this, but you got to figure that Huseman starts, right? You got to figure he starts, and then if he's clearly not getting it done, you got to do something. But I've also heard whispers that Harrington, Daytrick Harrington, is coming back, and you know, we've all heard really positive things about him. But you don't want to rush. You don't want to rush these guys back. But at the same time, we're sitting here at 5-1 with no bowl eligibility yet. Isn't it weird that that's how important the quarterback position is? I mean, the quarterback position is so important that it could take a team that is unstoppable, and once you remove that effective quarterback, all of a sudden people are looking at each other going, "We're going to win this game." That's how important it is. That all several people. I'm not to rat anybody out, but several people texted me Thursday and were like, "Man, the drop off in talent between QB1 and QB2 is just it's a little deep. It's a little deep. It's a little steep, rather. And so you want to give these guys hope, though. And I've been very encouraged. I don't know how many people that are listening to this right now are going to Myrtle Beach, going to Conway to watch this game. But I tell you what, I've experienced a lot of positivity after that Georgia Southern game. I mean, we actually had Danny Stapp. He always writes in on the hashtag BGP Mails. Actually, he always emails us, and he asked this week if this was the hardest loss that we've ever had. For me, it was. This is the hardest loss I've ever experienced live. Let me put it that way. It's the hardest loss I've ever experienced live in somebody else's stadium. I mean, the Virginia Tech game, well, we really didn't play Virginia Tech, but in my dream, I dreamed that we played Virginia Tech in 2011, and they absolutely stomped us. It was a little different. It was actually a lot different. And people can reference the Tennessee game, the Penn State game, as being, oh, we were so close. Isn't that more gut punch? It was definitely a gut punch to lose Penn State. It was definitely a gut punch to lose Tennessee and Wake Forest. But even in the case of Wake Forest had a decent team that year. They were not terrible, or last year. So, but those were not games we were favored to win. We weren't really expecting to win those games. Now, this game we were expected to win. On the road, 25th in the country, walk the walk. And we laid an egg. And I think that's, for me, why it's the hardest loss I've ever witnessed live, is because of those expectations and knowing our capabilities and seeing your quarterback get hurt and seeing, this weird momentum being taken out because of the targeting penalty. Just, we shot ourselves in the foot several times. Also, if people, you kind of read, I tell them, to be honest with you, I tell them not to do this, but one of the patrons, figure out who it is on your own, he's kind of involved with the team, and he kind of alluded to the fact that there was a lot of technical problems. I think he was alluding to the headsets on Thursday, and it was just very, very confusing on the sidelines. And so that's something that you don't really get to hear a lot. It's kind of like, and there was something going on. I mean, just by the way you're playing, you're like, this is just bizarre. But that also reminds me of hearing, or rather seeing, the Texas State game last year, and seeing us just lay an egg, and that sucked. I mean, it sucked hard, but we just didn't do well against Texas State, and you're kind of scratching your head, going, "This team's terrible." Then they went on and had a really bad year. Like, how did that happen? And then talking about none after the fact, and I think every former player, I think Taylor mentioned this too, but Bo was like, we underestimated how hot it was going to be, and we were worn out. We were practicing pads. They were practicing in shorts and T-shirts. So things like that maybe you're not intuitively thinking about can go into that. But I don't know what to think about Saturday. I really did feel like we were going to win big in Statesboro. I really did, which made it even more of a gut punch. I really thought we were going to win. I really wasn't that worried about it. Well, I don't say that worried. I was confident. Let's put it that way. It was not like I wasn't as confident as I was against like Arkansas State. I thought we were just going to whip them just bad, and we did. Georgia said I wasn't that as confident, but I was pretty confident, and just bang, just a kick right in the groin. But anyway, all right. So what else are we talking about here? What else are we talking about? We don't have actually reached out to the if anybody has a question or comment or observation or anything, go ahead and type it in. We have no activity this week. I don't know what the deal is. I'm looking here. It's just Justin Fowler. Which, Justin, you're good enough, buddy. We're glad to have you. But anyway, we do not have a guest this week. Everybody likes the beat writer episodes, but reached out to the beat writer that not Ethan suggested, and he didn't respond. Did not respond. That was weird. Oh, there's ASU Joan. What's up, Joan? Um, he didn't respond, so we're not going to have a beat writer segment, which is a bummer because you have somebody that's covering that team so closely that they just know it. They just hardly even have to think about it. But yeah, this guy's totally just snubbed us, and he's too good for us, I guess. But really kind of wanted to hear more about that. I mean, Coastal might have won the division if they played in the West. Them and well, they're the easternmost team, I think, right? Coastal is they're the easternmost team in the conference, but part of me thinks I don't know what everybody else thinks, but part of me thinks that this game could be a surprise in our favor. I mean, maybe we take care of business and we're able to do some things even with a backup quarterback. Again, I'd be surprised if Zach plays, but what do I know? I mean, seriously, they can announce that. Oh no, he's playing. But man, I hate having these thoughts. When going down like a train of thought, and then you kind of realize something from your past that you can't really ignore. So you don't want to rush a guy back too soon. I mean, look what happened with Armani Edwards in 2007. We rushed him back a little bit too soon, got beat by Wofford. That doesn't always help. Having somebody at 80, 75, 80, 90% doesn't always help. Does that mean Zach is at 75, 80, 85%? I don't know. I have no idea. All I'm saying is ultimately, if we erred on the side of letting him be like having the probability of him coming back strong and accurate, I would choose that. I would rather them err on that side because you don't want to mess up a guy for longer than he has to. But all these we're playing with monopoly money. I mean, what do we know? They're being tight-lipped about it. We really don't know. That's just that's an easy way to just mention it. But anyway, Coastal could either be dealing with a wounded team or a very motivated team. I'm going to bet on the latter. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a wounded team. I mean, yeah, sure. I agree with that. I don't think that App State is a what was the final? What was the score? Was it 34-14? Was that the score of the App game? Do you see? So this is also the only game all year, probably in the last 2 seasons, where I haven't gone back and watched the game again. That's not true. I didn't watch all the Gardner Webb game over. I watched some of the Gardner Webb game, and I tried to watch the beginning of the Georgia Southern game. I just couldn't do it. I didn't want to do it. It's not that I couldn't. I probably could have. I didn't want to. I had no interest in watching that game again. I did have to look at stats. It's funny. I had an email with a guy that I'm friends with. He was emailing me about something business related, and he said, "By the way, I'm not ready to talk about the App game." And so, whatever. And he's a diehard App State fan. He's not a patron though, but he should be. I'm gonna text him. Anyway, I responded. I said, but he does listen to the Black Gold podcast, by the way. He does. But I said, well, yeah. I said I had to talk about the game within 24 hours. When we got a sponsor, we have an audience that wants a recap. I mean, some of them do. I mean, a lot of them are just sitting back, like kind of like us, going, we just don't want to think about this game anymore. But I tell you what, it's rough. But watching that game, I'm not sure that we have. I mean, what am I saying? I got to catch myself when I say this stuff because I'm catching myself even like saying, well, I don't think we have a bad team. I mean, I don't think one quarterback going out makes you a bad team. I think there's a perfect storm on Thursday. I think we do have a good team. I don't even want to step on that landmine. I really genuinely, when we have a good team, or are we as good without Zach Thomas? No, clearly not. But I don't think even we're an average team without Zach Thomas. I think we're a better than average team. But we got to play. We got to play on Saturday, and 5 o'clock kickoff. I tell you what, it's a mixed bag because obviously going back-to-back road trips is it's an interesting feeling. Going, all right, we're getting ready to do this all again. It's worth it. I'm very proud of the BGP 333 club not wavering on the excitement about the team, the excitement about this road trip. That's really cool. You can see some absolute madness elsewhere on the internet. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. And people just being negative, and they have all this advice. I saw there's a thread on Yosef's Cabin about giving Clifton Duck instructions on how to act. And apologies if someone listening to this actually started that. I don't think you did. But who are we to give players individual instructions on how they should behave on the field? Yes, it's a forum. People should be able to talk about all that stuff. But little nitpicky, little I don't know. This is a good team. They work very hard, and I'm very appreciative. It seems like every member of the 333 Club has that positive twist on their outlook for App State football, and that's a really cool thing. It's a super cool thing. So we've kind of had a dead live chat here, which is fine that we've had that, but going about 20 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end this live stream unless somebody says something, and then we'll talk about it. But we're in this live stream, and then I'll just send out the link to this video to the Richie Armani patrons, and we'll go from there. But anyway, so I'm going to hop off here and get ready to record with the world's most famous App State fan. He's on a beer run right now. I know, grasp your pearls and don't try not to faint, but he's on a beer run. But anyway, thanks everybody for supporting the Black Gold Podcast. We appreciate you guys a ton. We're able to do cool things because of you guys. I mean, that's the long and short of it. I was able to buy some much needed recording equipment to make our recording process easier, and stuff like that. Patreon makes it a lot easier to do. So thank you, everybody. And for those of you that I'll see in Conway and those that I won't, go Apps.